You guys, Erin here, dropping in to give you this week's astrological update. And what I found to be the most important information for you guys to understand astrologically for this upcoming week is the full moon south node lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. This is a very, very powerful transit, and I'm going to tell you how to work with it. It's a little tricky, so follow along as best as you can. Okay, so as with any full moon, this is the peak of a growth cycle. Okay, it's a growth cycle that began approximately 6 months ago when we had a new moon in the sign of Scorpio. Now it's the full moon in the sign of Scorpio, and it's the peak of that growth cycle. So with that said, this is a time to honor our growth that we are experiencing that's related to the sign of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is what we call the fixed water sign. Now, when I say fixed, what I'm talking about is an energy that has an ability to do things in a steadfast way with consistency and persistency. The element of water does bring in some very intense emotions. And really, this sign of Scorpio is about transforming those emotions, okay? In fact, the sign of Scorpio, it's a very intense energy, but it's also the sign of empowerment. But that power comes through a transformational process. In fact, the sign of Scorpio rules the entire excretory system. Every part of the body where things go out is ruled by the sign of Scorpio. With that said, this is about flushing things out that don't serve you so that you can be empowered through new, fresh beginnings, okay? More powerful new beginnings. Okay, so with that said, this would be a time to be thinking about, have you empowered yourself? Have you been through a transformational process? Are you feeling powerful? This is a time to honor that growth. Now, again, that full moon peaks at 10:34 a.m. Pacific time. The hours, the minutes leading up to that full moon, that's the time to honor that growth. But as soon as this moon starts to wane, and what I mean by that is that by 10:35 a.m., the moon's starting to get smaller. That's the time to let go of what is not serving you. And this is like the most powerful time possible to be experiencing this. And I'll explain to you why. So again, this full moon's in the sign of Scorpio. Well, this eclipse, this south node lunar eclipse, is due to the south node being conjunct, in other words, right next to the full moon. Now, the south node is basically the drain point for celestial energy. The south node is where energy goes out. Okay, so with it being right next to this full moon in the sign of transformation, as soon as this moon starts to wane, it is so ideal to be thinking about what is not serving you. Is there any toxicity in your life? Because that's the time to let it go, to flush it out. And then we'll be having another new moon in the sign of Scorpio in 6 months from now. And that'd be a time to look back and think about, what did you let go of? And I always do this by writing everything down in my journal. I've been doing this for so many years now, and I wouldn't be continuing to do it if I didn't see such great results. Okay, so that we're all experiencing this full moon south node lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio as a collective, but it's also very unique to each and every one of us. And so much of this depends on where the sign of Scorpio comes through your own personal natal chart. Okay, does it come through maybe your house of relationships, or maybe your house of money, or maybe your house of self? If you're a Scorpio rising, my goodness, this is coming through your first house. This is a very powerful time for you. Maybe it's coming through your house of karma or your house of communication. There's all these different areas of your life that this could be coming through. Now, when you get a reading with me, I offer you a free video recording of the reading, so you can always go back and look at your chart to see which area of your life, not just the sign of Scorpio comes through, but anything astrological. You can see which area of your life is being activated by those celestial forces. Okay, so if you'd like to get a reading with me, you can schedule through the East West website, which is eastwestbooks.org. Now, when you go to that website, there's a little link on the top that says Readers and Healers. If you click there, it's very easy to schedule a reading with me. Okay, guys, I do hope to hear from some of you. And until next time, namaste to all of you.